Okay, so it's that time of year again. The festive season is kicking in, and right on schedule, so is that annual headache for managers. I'm talking about the flood of holiday time off requests.
Right. Trying to keep everyone happy while also, keeping the business running. It's a tough balancing act.
Exactly. So for today's deep dive, we've gone through a really practical guide from the folks at HR Delivered on how to handle this exact challenge.
We want to unpack the absolute must-do steps to balance what your employees need with what the business needs to survive without it becoming this overwhelming project.
Okay, let's get into it. The foundation. Where do we even start?
It all starts with setting clear ground rules. You have to remove ambiguity. HR Delivered is very clear on this. You need a non-negotiable deadline.
A hard deadline.
A hard deadline. For instance, if you're planning for December, all requests need to be in by, say, November 15th. It's such a simple thing, but they say it prevents the vast majority of disputes.
So the requests are in. Now you've got 10 people asking for the same week off. How do you sort that out fairly? The guide had 3 main ways, right?
And it did. You've got the classic first come, first served, and then there's the seniority-based approach, but that has its own problems. You risk frustrating your newer, really talented people.
Yeah, that's a good point. So what was the third option?
The third one, and I think this is often the game changer, is rotational fairness. Meaning, if you worked the big holidays last year, you get priority this year. It builds this sense of long-term equity and stops resentment from building up over several years.
I like that. It feels more sustainable. Yeah. Now, what about those days when you can't afford to have anyone off?
Blackout dates.
Yeah.
And you have to be upfront about them. This isn't about being punitive. For some businesses, it's about survival.
Like retail during the last week of December.
Exactly. If you're an e-commerce warehouse, you can't run a skeleton crew on your busiest shipping days. You just can't. Those dates need to be communicated way in advance.
Okay, so having a policy is one thing, but making it work is another. That brings us to tools and transparency.
Yes. You cannot be managing this on a spreadsheet or with sticky notes anymore. It's just not feasible. You need a modern time-off management platform, the kind HR Delivered specializes in, actually. It tracks requests, it flags overlaps, it shows you coverage gaps in real time.
And it makes it visible to everyone, so it's transparent.
That's the key. You have to explain the process, maybe in a team meeting, and then give everyone visibility. Let people see which days are filling up. It helps manage their own expectations.
Now, this is the part I found really fascinating, this idea of a collaborative approach.
Yes, empowering the team to help solve the staffing puzzle for you. It's brilliant.
So things like letting employees swap shifts.
Exactly, with manager approval, of course. But letting them find their own coverage takes a huge weight off the manager. And that rotational system we talked about is part of it, too.
But even with all of that planning, you're going to have gaps. Shortages are inevitable.
They are, so you need a contingency plan. First, you have to cross-train employees on essential tasks. Operations can't just grind to a halt because one person is on vacation.
And second,
you might need to budget for temporary or seasonal help just to bridge those critical gaps during the absolute peak times.
The guide also mentioned more flexible solutions, which I thought was smart. Not everything has to be a full day off.
Right. Can you offer half days? A partial day off might be all someone needs for a school event or some last-minute shopping. It's the win-win. You accommodate more people without gutting your coverage.
And remote work, if the job allows for it.
Of course. If someone can do their job from home during a less critical period, that's a massive benefit that costs the company very little.
So when you boil it all down, this isn't just about scheduling.
Not at all.
It's about showing your employees that you see them, that their needs matter. And doing that well boosts morale. And ultimately, it helps you keep your best people.
It really does. And that leaves you, the listener, with a really interesting question to think about. We've talked about first come, seniority, and rotational fairness. The policies are simple.
Right.
The real strategic challenge is enforcement.